Welcome back to the action-packed world of Shy. In the mid-21st century, superhuman heroes from across the globe fight for peace. Japan's hero is the shy 14-year-old Teru Momijiyama. As she struggles with self-doubt and confidence, new threats arise, pushing Shy to learn what it truly means to be a hero. Stay tuned for intense battles, heartwarming moments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more. In the 21st century, war disappears from Earth due to the rise of superhuman heroes who battle evil. Teru Momijiyama, a shy girl, prepares for a speech, but struggles with her nerves. She arrives at Himawari Land as her hero alter ego, Shy. On stage, her timid personality makes it hard to engage the crowd. Afterward, overwhelmed by social pressure, she becomes sick with her friend Anvilio, trying to comfort her. While Shy is nearby, a roller coaster suddenly malfunctions and a girl named Aiko, on the ride with her brother, tries to stay calm. Shy rescues everyone but hesitates when saving Aiko. As Shy tries to rescue her, the coaster falls off its rails, so she quickly stops the cart. But Aiko is gravely injured. A month later, Teru feels insecure about her role as a hero in spirit. A Russian hero visits her and offers advice, telling Teru that no hero can save everyone. Yeah, I bet that's true. Later, Teru sees that a hotel is on fire and is inspired to act by Aiko's younger brother. Although hesitant, she transforms into Shy and saves people from the burning building, and Spirit arrives just in time to help Shy save a baby and his mother. After the incident, Spirit reassures Spy that she is a true hero. Spirit then takes Shy to meet Unilord, who reminds her that heroes are symbols of hope. Teru later learns that Aiko, now her classmate, is recovering from her injury, leaving her nervous but hopeful. At school, Teru Momijiyama watches Aiko interact with classmates until Aiko is called to the teacher's office. Distracted by her thoughts about what Aiko might think of her hero identity, Teru is surprised by Anvilio, who delivers her forgotten homework. Later, Teru finds Aiko in pain near the stairs and helps her to the nurse's office. Teru feels guilty for not saving her properly, but Aiko remarks that Teru reminds her of Shy. Worried, Teru asks if Aiko holds any grudge against Shy for her injury. Aiko answers that she feels thankful, not hate, hearing which Teru slowly starts crying. As she leaves to wash her face, Aiko suddenly experiences intense pain, and a mysterious boy puts a ring on her finger, triggering an outburst of black crystals. Teru returns to find Aiko transforming, overwhelmed by psychic energy. Stigma appears, revealing he knows about Teru's hero identity, and vanishes as Aiko attacks Teru. Anvilio deduces that the crystals represent Aiko's self-hatred, coming from her parents' death and a fire, for which she blames herself. Despaired, Aiko tries to end her life, but Shy stops her and offers help. Time for some good old Takenojutsu. Shy moves the fight to a safe location and targets the ring on Aiko's finger, which is guarded by more crystals. Finally, Shy removes the ring and Aiko apologizes. Shy repeats her grandfather's words, helping Aiko find peace. At the hero's hideout, Anvilio informs Unilord that Shy has succeeded. A few days after Stigma appearing at school, Teru Momijiyama nervously checks her reflection on her phone, feeling worried about her appearance. Soon, Aiko Koishikawa arrives and greets Anvilio and reassures Teru that her leg is fine. Excited, Aiko pulls Teru along to hang out. Although Aiko is thrilled to be outside, Teru, not used to going outside, becomes exhausted. Aiko apologizes and takes her to rest and eat. Teru tries to cheer her up by remembering the excuse she gave the nurse after the last incident, but this only reminds Aiko of the damage caused, making Teru feel guilty. As they walk, Aiko asks if anyone else knows Teru's hero identity, and Teru confirms no one does. Aiko is excited to be the only one who knows, but they are interrupted by a crying boy who's lost his parents. How do so many kids get separated from their parents? Holding hands isn't that difficult. Aiko helps the boy find them, showing how good she is with children. She explains that she's always cared for her younger brother and thanks Teru for saving him at the T1 hotel. After reuniting the boy with his parents, Aiko advises him to be kind to others. She feels proud, thinking her words sounded like something Shai would say. Embarrassed at first, Tiru admits she admires Aiko too, and as they continue, Spirit contacts Tiru with a mission, and they prepare to meet the heroes, including Stardust. As the coin hits the ground, Shai charges at Stardust but misses her attack. She tries again, but Stardust easily dodges, then delivers a powerful blow to her stomach. He declares that, as someone heartless, he feels no need to go easy on her, while Shai, being too kind, can't win. Despite the pain, Shai gets up and tries again, but continues to miss. Curious, Aiko asks why Shai can't hit him, so Unilord explains that Stardust's heart-shift bracelets allow him to control all types of flows around him. Stardust warns that unless Shai awakens her power by wishing for his death, he will kill her. Spirit is furious, but cannot intervene, as that would disqualify Shai, but Shai stands once more, awakening her flames of heart. She charges a fiery punch, thinking her flames could bypass Stardust's ability, but he evades and beats her again. Just as Stardust thinks the fight is over, Shai stands again, saying he does have a heart, surprising Stardust, as Shai's eyes were never filled with hate for him. Well, at least kind she's because she sure as hell isn't strong. He finally starts fighting seriously and recalls a moment from his childhood when a friend suggested he did have a heart, despite what he said. Shai finally lands a hit on his face. Stardust catches her before she collapses and admits she's too gentle to be a hero but might change the world, accepting defeat. Later, Teru is treated by Dr. Schwartz, while Lady Black scolds her for worrying Aiko, so Shai promises Aiko she'll get stronger so she never has to cry for her again. Teru nervously visits Nagata Stationery, but is too nervous to call out to the owner. Chihiro appears, pleased to see her despite her back pain, and reveals that she's been running the shop alone since her husband's death 3 years ago, surprising Teru. She admits feeling lonely, but asks why Teru visited her, so Teru explains that seeing Dandelion Mountain reminded her of the shop's painting. Chihiro reveals her husband painted it. Back home, Teru feels helpless about helping Chihiro until Piltz Dunant. Lady Black arrives for a checkup. Teru asks for help, and although hesitant, Piltz goes with her to heal Chihiro. As they discuss climbing the mountain, Piltz encourages Chihiro, and they invite Teru to join. Teru struggles but reaches the summit, thinking about Piltz promising that she will share a personal story. At the top, she reveals she lost her legs in an accident and was really looked down on. However, she was determined to prove herself and trained to climb mountains. After they go back down, Teru thanks Piltz for helping Chihiro, even without using her powers. Piltz, flustered, offers to help Teru become a stronger hero. Later, Teru tries to use her powers, but is distracted at school. After parting ways with Aiko, she discovers a kanji for flame and meets Suzuri Murasaki in a calligraphy club. Inspired by Suzuri's work and the president saying she expresses emotion through calligraphy, Teru suddenly has an idea. She rushes home and successfully creates fire using the kanji, but accidentally sets the paper on fire, panicking as Envilio helps put it out. Inside a glacier, Stigma talks to someone covered in ice. He breaks the ice and tells her their mission is to annihilate the Euros. Meanwhile in Japan, Aiko learns from Teru that she has finally gained control over her powers. Teru is summoned by Unilord to the hideout and heads out, with Aiko wishing her luck. At the base, Shai and Spirit meet Unilord, who informs them of an urgent call from the Arctic, where they will join another hero. In the Arctic, Shai struggles with the cold but follows Spirit to a research center. There they meet someone named Mayan Long, who quickly introduces himself and explains that their mission is to rescue a stranded research vessel. During the helicopter ride, Mayan Long nervously admits he joined the mission to meet the heroes and asks if they see him as a coward for not wanting to fight. Shai relates to his feelings, though she mistakenly assumes he is a girl, which embarrasses him. As they approach the area, the helicopter is suddenly attacked by an ice projectile, forcing the heroes to rescue civilians before it explodes. Who attacks them, but Spirit immobilizes her briefly, so Tzveta injures Spirit and traps her in ice. Shai tries to fight, but struggles until Mayan Long steps in. But he swiftly overpowers her in combat. Shai's flames melt her ice, and Mayan Long puts her to sleep with his fists of the sleeping dragon. Later, Stigma arrives, retrieving Sveta and announcing the formation of his group, Amarera Ruku. Unilord, Shai, and Mayan Long discuss Stigma's speech. Unilord apologizes for falling into the trap, but Shai and Mayan Long don't blame her. Just then, Piltz informs Shai that her treatment is complete, so they leave as Unilord worries the situation will worsen. At the infirmary, Pepesha hides her injury when Unilord, Shai, and Mayan Long arrive. Shai asks if she's okay, but Piltz points out the injury happened while Pepesha was transformed. Pepesha is interested in how Sveta addressed her and by Amareraruku's childlike members. Unilord decides to call Aiko for more information on Stigma, so Aiko shares progress on analyzing his ring and mentions seeing Stigma's childlike heart during the fight. She suggests his true goal might be world peace, which the heroes, especially Piltz, find hard to believe. As they thank Aiko, Pepesha thinks of how similar she is to Sveta, recalling painful memories. Piltz suggests she rest, and Pepesha agrees to investigate further when she's better. Later, Shai approaches her in the corridor, offering to share her burdens. Initially dismissive, Pepesha softens when Shai insists with a smile, and they agree to support each other. Sometime later, Shai cosplays as Revozixol from Rise's Civil Revolution at a mall event for Hiromi Seki. Well, time for the weebs in this world to rise up and simp. Though reluctant, she participates in a talk show and is surprised by the children's enthusiasm. A boy criticizes her for pretending to be Revozixol, but Shai later comforts him after retrieving his lost balloon, telling him liking something isn't limited by gender. By the end of the day, Shai receives a full set of the anime and becomes a fan. At the airport, Aiko checks if Teru has everything she needs for her trip. Teru and Envilio assure her before she leaves for Russia. Upon arriving, Teru meets Pepesha, and together they investigate Sveta. Teru curiously asks if Pepesha drinks often, and Pepesha jokes that she wouldn't recognize her if she was sober. They arrive at Yuri Orphanage, where Isaac greets them. After Pepesha introduces Teru, Isaac compliments Teru's Russian, unaware that her bracelets translate for her. Inside, the children are excited to see Pepesha, and Isaac asks Teru how they met. Nervously, Teru says they met at work, so Isaac mentions that Pepesha left the orphanage 10 years ago, but still sends money to keep it running. Isaac leads them to a room with photo albums of Pepesha's past. He warns Pepesha about drinking too much before leaving, and as they look through the albums, Pepesha admits she felt lonely after leaving the orphanage. She shows Teru a photo of her younger self, and Teru is surprised by how reserved Pepesha once was before noticing similarities between Pepesha and Sveta. A photo of Pepesha and her mother, Latana, falls out, and Pepesha reveals she carried it when she first came to the orphanage. She describes her mother as a quiet woman who became talkative when drunk, and Teru realizes Pepesha is like her mother. Isaac invites them to lunch, and Natalia joins them, remembering how quiet Pepesha was as a child, hearing which Teru learns Latana and Natalia grew up together. As they search more albums, they discover that Latana looks like Sveta. Well, doesn't that sound sus? Get ready for a plot twist, guys. Just then, a child screams outside hearing, which Teru and Pepesha quickly transform and confront Sveta, who traps the orphanage in ice, creating her own world, Amareraruku. Sveta traps orphanage inside her Amareraruku, while Stigma watches from afar, endangering an entire orphanage. Sounds like one of the most villainous schemes one could think of. Isaac, Natalia, and the children soon fall unconscious, unable to bear Sveta's power. However, Shai charges at Sveta, but is stopped by Katie Kakarakura, whose unpredictable movements make her difficult to handle. His body can store anything, making it hard to predict her next move. Despite Shai's confusion over their motives, Sveta dismisses her, instructing Kehet to continue the attack. Spirit intervenes, but her attacks have little effect. Kehet prepares to fight Shai again, but Pepesha uses her signature technique to push Kehet away. The villains argue, giving Spirit and Shy a chance to strategize. Spirit tells Shy to distract them so she can evacuate the civilians. Spirit manages to break through the ice wall, but is pulled back by Tsveta, who has complete control of her domain. Tsveta reveals her true goal, Spirit's memories, and connects Spirit's heart to the orphanage residents to stabilizing her. Shy tries to help, but is blocked by Kaya. As Tsveta's influence deepens, the civilians begin to freeze, threatening to shatter if nothing is done, infuriating Spirit, who angrily attacks Tsveta. Shy notices something strange about Tsveta's reaction, but it's too late, and Tsveta absorbs Spirit's heart and recovers her lost memories. Her true identity is revealed to be Latana Andrianova, Pepesha's mother, who died after falling into a frozen river. Overwhelmed by this, Pepesha is left stunned while Shy struggles against Kaya. After leaving the orphanage, Latana's life became increasingly difficult. She worked tirelessly just to provide the bare minimum for survival, managing only enough to feed her daughter. In the growing darkness of her heart, Pepesha was her only source of light. One night, Pepesha noticed her mother wasn't eating and refused to eat herself, which annoyed Latana, who told her off. She immediately regretted yelling at her daughter, fearing Pepesha would never have a good life because of her struggles. Latana began to believe Pepesha would be better off at the orphanage, so she decided to buy her a cake. However, after seeing the prices, she decided to go for cookies instead. Seeing Latana eyeing the cake, the store owner gave it to her for free, which restored Latana's hope for her daughter's happiness. Tragically, an old man pushed her off a bridge to steal the cake, leading to Latana's death. Although, that guy really likes his cake, doesn't he? Spirit and Shy watch Latana's memories, and Tsveta reveals that her only wish was for Pepesha's happiness, shocking Spirit, whose transformation disappears. Shy reassures Spirit that Pepesha didn't hate her mother. Encouraged by Shy's words, Pepesha transforms back into Spirit and prepares to continue fighting. Pepesha regrets not expressing her feelings to her mother, but decides to do so now. Spirit asks Tsveta how she saw her daughter, triggering flashes of happy memories. However, Kei intervenes, reminding Tsveta of her true goal. Tsveta's eyes turn black as her Amarararuku grows stronger, even affecting the nearby city. Spirit and Shy work together to fight Tsveta and Kaya. Shy's flames break through the ice, allowing Spirit to reach Tsveta and calm her with a hug. Tsveta remembers a memory of a promise between mother and daughter. Spirit thinks about her time at Yuri Orphanage, remembering Natalia's comfort and the letters her mother Latana had written while drunk, where she remarked that she wanted to share drinks with Pepesha when she got older. Overwhelmed with emotion, Pepesha starts crying, missing her mother deeply. Spirit finally tells her mother she loves her, causing the Amarararuku to weaken. Kaya tries to convince Tsveta to continue, but Tsveta dismisses her. Spirit learns from Tsveta about Stigma's power to give form to others' dreams, urging them to stop him. Finally, she and Pepesha share a drink together before Tsveta disappears, leaving a ring behind. That almost sounds like the ending to those YouTube parodies. After Tsveta's disappearance, Shy and Spirit stand outside the orphanage, with Shy overwhelmed by the children's curiosity. Natalia approaches Spirit, assuring her that everyone is fine and being cared for by Asak. She remarks that it's no surprise Pepesha is a hero, revealing that Latana, though quiet, was her personal hero for always helping others. Shy, struggling with the kids, asks Spirit for help. Teru and Pepesha leave the orphanage, and Spirit receives a call from Envilio before Stardust and Piltz arrive. With the situation under control, Spirit hands Stardust Tsveta's ring. As Stardust leaves, Shy stops him to thank him for his past help. He briefly recalls her and encourages her to feel proud of her progress. Piltz asks about the injured, as Shy directs her to the civilians. By sunset, Pepesha and Teru say goodbye to Natalia and Asak and leave. Pepesha thinks about drinking while Teru, concerned about the Amarararuku, is determined to defeat Stigma. Meanwhile, Stigma comforts Kei over Tsveta's loss as they, along with Utsuro, prepare their next plan near Tokyo Tower. Thanks for joining us on today's journey. If you enjoyed the video, smash that like button, subscribe for more, and hit the bell to stay updated for more amazing stories.